Okay, so we're going to show you the second video now of how to bring a bitmap into the vcarve program and convert it to a vector line. Here we go. So, opening up your vcarve program, or where you left off, on the top menu here, under File Operations, at the very end is an Import Bitmap for Tracing. Click on that button. Go to your desktop, and then scroll down until you find the bitmap that you saved in the last step. Click to open it. There you go. It takes a second, so just give it a minute. Don't click open 5 times, because it'll slow your computer down more. There we go. Now, first thing to do is to go under Create Vectors and hover over the Trace Bitmap, Fit Vectors to select a bitmap. Click on that. Okay, if yours is selected color, make sure it's selected black and white. You want to increase the threshold there until it starts to get grainy. You don't want to make it grainy though. You want to actually increase it. That just increases the amount of image that's there, but don't make it grainy at all. Then scroll down to the bottom selection on bitmap fading and pretty much bring it down to 0. Press the preview to preview it, and you need to press preview because you won't be able to apply it if you don't. And press apply, and if you don't press the apply, it won't save your changes. So do that, and then close it. There we go. Now you've got vector lines. There are vector lines here. Yay! These are all vector lines that I'm selecting right now. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. There's 8 vector lines. We need to select only the vector lines. So what you can do is you can hold the Shift key down and select each one of them. As you hold the Shift key down, it knows that you want to select all the vectors. And then you can press copy by Control-C, or you can go up to Edit and go Copy. Now, unclick everything, so make sure nothing is selected. And then, using your arrow, drag a box over the whole thing, so everything is selected. Press the Delete key at the top right corner of your keyboard. Give it a minute. Takes a minute to delete it. It's a lot of information. It's a big photograph that it's deleting right now. There we go. Now you can press Control-V and it'll paste in place, or you can go to Edit and then paste. One of the two will work. Now you have to delete one of these vector lines. I'm going to pick the inside one and delete it. So I'll select it, delete it, select it, delete it, select it, delete it, select it, delete it. What a vector line is, the router bit's going to go around your material all the way around and make that cut on that line. It'll do the same thing for this one, and this one. If you had 2 lines side by side, then it would cut once, and it would cut another vector as well. You don't want it to do that. You just want one vector per area, basically. Okay, next thing to do, probably a good idea would be to save your file. So go click Save, and then you can go into Toolpath. This is the last part. And click to open it. Go back into your profile toolpath. This is where we were the other day. Review your settings. Make sure your cut depth is 0.78. Outside vectors, not inside. And where it says tabs, you want to click on. And then you want to go edit tabs. It says no suitable vectors. Oh, right. We have to select them. So click on one vector, hold the Shift key down, click on the other 2 or 3, or however many you've got, and then press the edit button. There we go. So now it says constant number. Keep it at 4. That's probably pretty safe. That's what we experimented with last term. Press add tabs rather, and it'll add 4 tabs to each of the vectors that you've got. Now you've got tabs. You might have too many in these little sections, so you can probably go with 3 tabs for them. You can also slide and move them around, and I'm just going to move that one. Make them equidistant around the circle. So there we go. Another thing is you want to have your tabs kind of on a flat surface. It's a little bit easier to machine the tabs off after. If they're on a corner, it's a little harder to actually make the tab work the way you want it. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 for the outside. That's good. 3 for the insides. That'll work fine. I'm going to move this over a little bit. That's perfect. Press close. Last thing is at the very bottom. Again, make sure you've got a check mark for add tabs. At the bottom now, you can rename it just with your last name and press the calculate button. It'll say, uh-oh, material thickness is 0.75 and you're cutting at 0.78. Is that okay? It's asking you, we're going to cut through the material, and it wants to know if it's okay, and it is okay. We want to do that. Let's press that. Now you can preview it. You're probably going to want to slow your preview window down just a little bit though, because otherwise it goes so fast you can't actually see it. There's the router bit making its cut. Noticing that the nose here, there's so many tabs in the nose that it's not actually cutting through all the way. So what I might do is a little bit afterwards go back there and maybe select 2 tabs for that. And notice that the other eyes don't have any tabs. So I would go back there and mess around with that a little bit. And I'll show you that in another video. For now, I'm just going to show you the rest of the process, which would be to select your toolpath, which is the Miro toolpath that you just created. Close this preview window, and then on the bottom where it says Save Toolpath, there's all these functions, you go and click Save Toolpath. Do that. Last setting to check is your CWI Professor Basic. That needs to be selected. If it's not, you have to find it in the menu, and it probably should be. The last thing here, we want to double check toolpaths to be saved. Up here it says Miro and Mill, and that's good. That's exactly what we want. And you click Save Toolpath down here. Again, navigate to your desktop. That's where you want to save it. Make sure it's miro.mmg, or your name rather, .mmg, and press save. Done. And that's pretty much it. We're going to be taking that file, putting it onto a scan disk, a little memory stick, and then plugging that into the computer. So go get the memory stick from Mr. Miro, and you're ready to go. Thanks so much, and enjoy.